And after you've got the enemy to submit, you're magnanimous, which is wonderful. But of course, too many Jews, Christians, and Muslims have forgotten that was really the basic message.
Mm-hmm.
So wars just keep going on. But here in America, because we're a democracy, we can stop these wars and prevent ourselves from ever going to war again if we make up our minds. Because they've done studies, no democracy has ever attacked another democracy. The way to spread democracy is through our example and through our efforts to support nascent democracies like in Iran. We need to support the people that are dying in the streets for democracy. We won't even get out on the streets to protest. I think that's really a measure of how far we've fallen from the nation we used to be.
But there's an inbred, I don't know if it's cynicism, it's not exactly paranoia, but it's a belief.
It's an assumption.
Well, maybe that's, yeah. For instance, when 9/11 happened, I heard incredible amounts of talk about, well, you know, we could blow the North Bend Bridge. And I was like, you know, and if they came and attacked us here, and they were naming places right here in Coos Bay, all over the place.
Can we buy ammunition now? I understand we ran out for a while there.
That's right.
The survivalism movement.
It was a survivalism, and I will protect my garden. And I was like, you know, I can really, maybe that's possible, but I can't really buy that. Too many people want the North Bend Bridge. And should we blow it up first? I mean, it was very alarming to me.
If we stay a democracy, that won't happen.
That's right. I mean,
but if we give in to our fear, that could happen.
It's fear. It was huge amounts of fear and survivalism. I was hearing about people had this and that and the other dug
They're
up
still
and
out there.
And put in their ground, and they are all ready for it all. And
they're ready to fight for a survival without civilization. A return to the state of nature. I think that's sick. But the country is sick. Our psyche is sick. I'm writing about all this in the book of essays I'm writing online at my website, Soldiers for Peace International. And these things are clear to me, and I think I see a way out, and I think it's starting to happen. The American people are waking up. Citizens United. The Supreme Court case that extended the rights of corporations to buy and sell congressmen, and particularly our senators, has woken up a lot of people. And this is an issue that affects, again, this is not a liberal issue. This is not a conservative issue. This is not a Republican, Democrat, or whatever issue. This is an issue for the American people to face head on.
Well, it scares me because why would big business care about what's good for me in little old Coos Bay?
Absolutely.
That's
a
the part that
corporation
bothers me.
is formed to make money.
Yeah.
And we have to realize that I'm not attacking all corporations, because mom and pop can form a corporation that limit their liability in the event of things they have no control over. And it gives them certain tax advantages. It helps them provide better benefits to their workers and survive. So we need corporations, but in the original conception of the United States, we were supposed to control corporations. And the only reason it's not in the Constitution, as Jefferson actually proposed, is because at that time people remembered, gee, we just fought a revolution against corporate privilege. The people don't understand, too many people don't understand, that the Boston Tea Party was not a revolt against taxes. It was a revolt against the East India Company's ability because it was owned by the Queen and her friends. They gave them a special tax advantage to get dumped their, they had a huge surplus of tea, partly because Americans had their own cottage industry. And so what they were really protesting was this special advantage they had that would have wiped out the tea industry, the individual tea sellers, and also the people that were bringing in tea through the West Indies, who were labeled pirates according to British law. So what they did was they were redefining what a pirate was, who was an enemy of the state back there in Britain. And that's why the American people woke up and said, oh, wait a minute, we're British citizens. If that's the way they're going to treat us, then we need to form another country and make a new set of rules. Because governments are established by the people. And they're supposed to be of the people and for the people, but right now, we are a government of the corporations, by the corporations, and for the corporations. And our senators have not woke up to the fact that the people know this, and they're about to punish them severely. I would predict half the senators currently sitting are going to be gone by 2012, after the elections, at least half. We're already seeing them drop like flies. There were a number of senators.
And a lot of them,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people wondering, should somebody have a lifelong job?
That's a very good question.
That's a lot of power to invest in one person. They may start in it
Well,
perfectly.
that applies to Supreme Court justices, but senators have to be reelected every 6 years.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if people wake up to this stuff, they're going to get rid of a bunch of them. There's already,
But wait, are we going to?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
We need to loop back to the soul wound thing.
I'm
And the soul
sorry.
wound thing, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
can
I
go
should
off?
go into more detail about how he does that. Yeah.
So on the soul wound thing, logic doesn't cut it because sure, logic in their head they know, I couldn't have stopped the bullet. I had to do my job. I had to handle the bomb. What are things that would be useful for veterans to hear?
Well, let me go
Here.
back to that book that my friend wrote, War and Redemption. So one of the beliefs that a lot of faiths have is that you can redeem yourself if you think you've committed a sin. If you've violated the first commandment, you can rededicate yourself to people for the rest of your life.
And that's actually when I see the veterans start saying, I started doing something for somebody. See, that's when I know they started to turn the corner. I'm not about them and me and mine. It's like, maybe I should reach out to the next guy. And sometimes I'll say, so we got you better. Who are you going to go help?
Right.
And they kind of look like, I said, even if you got one person into therapy, because you look like you are getting life better, you're
Right.
going to be helping somebody else.
Absolutely, and that's how we reestablish the bridges, the social bridges that build up what Putnam called social capital.
Right.
There's immense rewards for each of us, not just veterans,
Oh, yeah, everybody.
in helping other people. As far as I'm concerned, that is the main purpose of life, is to help other people. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's incredibly rewarding. And that's why I started Soldiers for Peace International, because that is our goal, among our goals, or maybe that's a strategy. The goal is to end war, and it is a group of veterans and active duty service members who are opposed to not just these wars, but all war.
So for us as therapists, I'm the lowly version, the counselor version, you're the exalted medical MD version. But, we all came into this because we wanted to do something to help someone. And I think we're probably out of time here, and I would like to close on that idea. And so for those of you who have been listening, we've actually covered a wide variety of topics. How society is affected by war, how the veteran is affected, how the family is affected, and ideas about emotional healing and how to gain access to resources that will help you come into a space where you cannot erase the memory, you can change how you deal with the memory. And that's what the goal, and actually the greatest pleasure I'm sure you have also, because then when you see a veteran who's starting to have a life and realizing, I have a whole right to have a life with pleasure, that's actually what we do and find our pleasure in life doing. So thank you for being with us today on Take Control.